What's happening, y'all? Jabari Long, the Credit Repair King, checking in. First Monday of the year. I think it's the 4th. I appreciate you for tuning in for this episode of Night School. Tonight, we're going to talk about building your children's credit. Very important to do. I'm 40. A lot of people in my peer groups are 40 and older. I have a 20-year-old son. I have friends of mine who has a buddy of mine, his son just turned 30 last week. So understanding and making sure our children understand the impact of credit is very important. So if you find this video useful, I want you to like, share, comment, make sure people know the importance of building their children's credit. So Whitney Houston had a song. My guy, Eddie Murphy, sang the song on stage in Coming to America. And they said, I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about? So we have to teach them. Why? Because it's important. They're the next generation. They're going to be forced to utilize credit, whether they know it or not, right? Employers are checking credit for hiring, potential advancement for promotions. I had a client who he was studying to pass the bar. His credit was challenged. He couldn't pass the character and fitness, which held him from taking the bar exam. So it's very, very important. And the younger they know, the better, right? You got to start early, right? And I don't know how early is too early. Maybe 2, 3, 4, 5. But somewhere around in there, you need to start to teach them the responsibility of paying as agreed, who they owe and when they owe, okay? So if you don't know the credit game, if you don't know the basic fundamentals, you don't have the ability to teach them, that's fine. But if you want to teach them, then you have to learn. That's a prerequisite for the class. Remember, it's not what you say, it's what they see you do. It's the behavior, it's the comments, it's the way they see you move with respect to credit, which will dictate how they treat their credit. All right. Teach them the difference between a credit card and a debit card. Look the same, function for the most part the same way in the store, but very, very different, right? So make sure they understand the difference between that. I was preparing for this night school. I was going to include teach them the difference between the credit card, the debit card, and the EBT card. But I left the EBT card out of the notes because I felt like, I didn't have to put it in there. Add them as authorized users at an early age. You can do that well before they're 18 years of age. The lenders or the credit card companies are not asking how old that person is. So the earlier you put them on, in my eyes, the better that they're going to benefit for your good history. Make sure it's a good card that you're going to maintain the health and the on-time payments of the card. Give them debit cards. Like I know Chase has like a teen or youth spending card where you as the parent can allocate a certain amount, maybe their allowance on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis, and the child has online access so they can monitor their spending, see how much they have available so that they don't overdraw their account, things of that nature. They have their phones in their hand all the time anyway. Might as well show them how to navigate through the mobile app and transfer money and do things, financial things by way of the mobile devices, just to prepare them before it really counts. They make a mistake at 15, 14, 10. It really doesn't matter. It's just going to fall on you. But they make a mistake at 30, then it's a big deal, right? So give them as much responsibility as possible, as early as possible, just so they can get practice when it really doesn't count, okay? Incentivize savings. right? Some kids, as soon as they get them the money, some people, I'm not even gonna blame it on kids, because some people, this is a behavior. As soon as they get the money, it almost melts in their hand like candy on 100-degree day, right? Incentivize savings. If you see your son or daughter diligently trying to save for something, maybe it's an item they want to purchase, maybe it's they just like seeing their bank account balance grow. Incentivize them. Maybe you match them $20 for every 100 they save. I don't know. Get creative with it, but definitely reward them for having the discipline to save some money. Have them sign up with a service like Credit Karma, right? Everybody has it. It's free. They can put it on their mobile device so that they can monitor their credit. They can see the scores. They can see the updates, the increases and the decreases as they come. But you want to get them familiar with monitoring something as important as their credit. Okay. I'm sorry. I had collections, right? Collections maintain their status on your credit report for 7 years in Michigan, and I'm sure countrywide it's somewhere near. In 10 years for public records like bankruptcies and things of that nature, right? So a generation is typically 20, 30 years. So your son or daughter is a generation behind you. So that theoretically means they have 30 more years to play with credit, to experience credit, and to mess up with credit if that's something that actually happens to them, right? So you would want your son or daughter to mess up at 25 as opposed to 45, 55, or 65 when their working income has declined, right? So the younger they are, the more time they have to experience it, the more time they have to use it. It's just kind of like anything else, a tool, just any type of mechanical object. The longer you have it, the more you use it, the better theoretically you should become with it. And that's what we want to do with our children. We want their credit to be bulletproof early, and we want to start so early. Should they face any challenges or hiccups, they can easily hit the reset button. Like I said, this stuff is only going to remain on their credit for 10 years max. So even if they had challenges every 10 years, the earlier you teach them, the sooner they'll be able to realize that they have the ability to bounce back. Okay? So you don't want to waste that time for your children, right? You teach them early, that way they can experience it early, and they can, learn from their mistakes and grow in a timely manner. So start early, right? If you have adult children, you're not leveraging their credit, something's wrong, right? You may need your kitchen remodeled. You may need a new car. You may need or want a bracelet that you want to buy on credit. If your children are in position to do that because you taught them and they have perfect credit, then you are able to leverage them, right? And the more people in the household or your universe that has great credit, the larger your team is. Think of yourself like the Harlem Globetrotters, right? You have a bunch of people on the team, and everybody that you throw the ball to can go around the back, up under the leg, and make a hook shot, okay? So you want to have as many people on your team with great credit as possible. If you have people on your team with bad credit, then you need to swap out some players and get you a different team, okay? So building your children's credit is very important, not only to teach them, but oftentimes we're going to have to leverage them to do deals, it's about positioning and timing, right? Sometimes I'm not in a position to do all that I want to do on this particular day. So I have to call on one of my team members so we can get that stuff done. So keep that in mind. Thank you for tuning in for this episode of Night School. Tune in this Wednesday. We're going to do something a little bit different, a little bit creative on our Instagram, our sister station. 8 p.m. on Wednesday, the Long Report. We're going to talk about the Deal Machine app. And we're hiring drivers in Birmingham, Alabama, Atlanta, Georgia, Youngstown, Ohio, Detroit, Michigan, of course, in Charlotte, North Carolina. So that should be fun, interesting. That's on Wednesday. And then back here next Monday, our topic is building business credit. Right? I don't know how I forgot that. Building business credit. I get more calls about building business credit than I do about personal credit. And I'm here to tell you, it all, there's some different nuances, but for the most part, they work the same, right? You got to pay your bills on time. And the more you understand about how it works, the more effective you'll be and the more business credit you'll have access to. But tune in next week. If you're out of business, you're thinking about going into business, you don't want this to affect your personal credit, we can give you some tips on how to build business credit. Jabari Long with this episode of Night School. Like I said, if you have any opinions, right, you think this can help somebody, like, share, comment on the video, and tune in next this Wednesday. We'll see you on IG Live. The Long Report. We out.